Doso, welcome back. Today we're bringing you a story that is absolutely going to tug at your heartstrings. I mean, have you ever stopped to think if one single honest decision could literally rewrite someone's entire destiny? Well, today we are diving headfirst into this incredibly emotional, totally life-changing journey of two polar opposites. We've got our hardworking delivery boy, Aloo, and this super grumpy millionaire, Kaddu. This breakdown right here, it proves exactly what happens when your morals are put to the absolute ultimate test.
Right off the bat, I need you to picture this scene. The sky has completely opened up. It is absolutely pouring. Our guy, Aloo, is soaking wet, just battling his way through a massive storm on this battered old scooty. He is clinging to his food delivery bag like his actual life depends on it. He's exhausted, his scooty's tires practically flat. But get this. Look at his mindset. He says, "My tires are flat and the rain is pouring, but I won't let this customer stay hungry." He is dead set on delivering this mutton special order because he knows if he fails, his rating tanks and putting food on his own table, yeah, that becomes nearly impossible.
So let's actually trace how this whole situation escalates because it really maps out Aloo's struggle. 1 hour ago, the heavy downpour starts, right? Soaking him to the bone. Then, 30 minutes into the ride, bam, his scooty tire goes flat. It turns an already difficult journey into an absolute nightmare. And that brings us right up to the present moment, where he's literally forced to stand there and take mocking insults from a passerby named Bangon. It is just obstacle after obstacle, testing his patience, his physical endurance, and his relentless work ethic.
Now, what's really interesting here is the stark contrast in mindsets, right in the middle of this storm. On one side, you've got Aloo, who is deeply grounded in the principle of mehnat ki kamai, this profound belief that earnings from hard work are never small, and that genuine effort brings true peace. But then on the other side, you have Dangan. He's literally laughing from the sidelines, telling Aloo to drop everything, grab some tea, and just ashkar, basically chill out and be lazy. Dangan even goes as far as calling Aloo a banika gubara, a water balloon in the rain. But Aloo, no way. He refuses to take the easy way out. He knows that today's struggle is tomorrow's peace.
So, Aloo keeps pushing. And this brings us to a huge turning point in the story. Aloo finally arrives at his destination. He's completely drenched, shivering from the cold, standing in front of this massive, super intimidating bungalow. And guys, this isn't just any house. This is the estate of the millionaire Kaddu, a guy who is known just as much for his immense wealth as he is for his absolutely terrible, fiery temper. Aloo just fought through a literal storm to reach these gates. But the storm he's about to face at the front door, yeah, that's an entirely different beast. The second that door swings open, Kaddu doesn't offer a towel, doesn't say hello, nope, he just explodes. He screams, "Tum jaise garibon ko waqt ki कीमत nahi pata, paisa hai mere paas." Basically yelling that people like him don't know the value of time, and that because of him, Kaddu has to stay hungry. He actually accuses Aloo of stopping to cook the food on the way because it took so long. Kaddu shows absolutely zero empathy for the fact that a human being is standing there freezing, having just battled a massive storm to bring him a meal. And wow, doesn't this just brilliantly illustrate the dynamic between these two? You have Kaddu, extreme wealth, but he's arrogant, bitter, and just screaming. Opposite him is Aloo, poor, shivering, yet incredibly humble and grounded. And instead of matching Kaddu's anger, you know what Aloo does? He diffuses the situation. He politely apologizes and actually uses humor. He jokes that there was so much mud on the road, it felt like the mud itself was trying to make gajar ka halwa, which made his scooty slip. I mean, he just absorbs that abuse with incredible grace. But right here is where our story completely shifts gears. Kaddu, still totally blinded by his rage, violently throws the cash at Aloo and turns around to slam the door. But in all his aggressive, hasty moving around, something slips out of his pocket. A diamond-filled wallet and an incredibly expensive gold watch fall straight into the mud. And Kaddu doesn't even notice. He storms inside, the heavy door slams shut, and suddenly it's just Aloo, the pouring rain, and an absolute fortune lying right there at his feet. Okay, I want to pause right here and ask you directly, what would you do in this situation? Seriously, put yourself in Aloo's shoes for a second. You are struggling to survive, your clothes are ruined, you've just been deeply, deeply humiliated by the guy who owns the stuff on the ground, and right there in the mud is enough money to solve literally every single one of your problems forever. The door is locked, no one is watching. The suspense in this moment is just palpable. Naturally, the temptation is immediate. We actually see another character, Papia, peek out from behind a nearby tree, and he spells out this shortcut right in front of Aloo. The plan is simple. Step 1, just hide the watch and wallet. Step 2, use all that money to secretly open a brand new dhaba, a restaurant of his own.
And step 3, walk away and never look back. Poppy is telling him, hey, it's like winning the lottery. It is the ultimate easy way out for a struggling delivery boy who just got treated like garbage. So the million-dollar question is how Aloo responds to this. And it all comes down to one word, imandari, absolute honesty. Aloo rejects Papia's plan instantly. He beautifully states that poverty is not a crime, but stealing someone else's rightful property, that is a massive sin. To Aloo, ईमानदारी सबसे बड़ी degree होती है. Honesty is the highest educational degree a person can possibly hold. He makes up his mind right then and there to return this fortune to the very man who just screamed in his face. 2 whole hours. Let that sink in. Aloo didn't just knock once, leave the stuff on the doorstep, and bail. No, he stood outside in that freezing, pouring storm, guarding that wealth for 2 entire hours, just waiting for Kaddu to realize what he lost and come back out. I mean, that is just an astonishing level of dedication to doing the right thing. Eventually, the realization hits. Kaddu comes rushing out of his mansion in an absolute, total panic. He realizes his diamond-filled wallet and his gold watch are missing, and he thinks he is completely ruined. He expects to open his door to an empty, muddy street. But instead, he finds Aloo, shivering but totally calm, holding out the lost treasures and simply saying, "Sir, please don't worry. You forgot these at the door."
The shock on Kaddu's face in this moment is profound. He is entirely humbled. He finally realizes the truth. Swad mehnat se banta hai, ghamand se nahi. Taste comes from hard work, not arrogance. He had heard these terrible insults, mocked Aloo's poverty, treated him like literal dirt. And yet, Aloo stayed back to protect his wealth. Kaddu confesses that Aloo didn't just save his belongings, he completely restored his lost faith in humanity. The arrogance just melts away, and it's replaced by this deep, emotional gratitude. And guys, that brings us to the massive, celebratory reveal. 10 lakh rupees. Kaddu tells Aloo that, look, money comes and goes, but respect and honesty, those are permanent. Because of his incredible integrity, Kaddu offers Aloo a staggering new monthly salary of 10 lakh rupees. Aloo's honesty literally paid off in the most spectacular way imaginable. Let's actually break down the full extent of this life-changing reward, because it wasn't just a cash handout. Kaddu appoints Aloo as the manager of his new office. But wait, it gets better. He makes Aloo a partner in an entirely new restaurant chain. And most importantly, Kaddu declares that Aloo will never, ever be called poor again. Aloo's unwavering respect for his own morals fundamentally secured his entire future. When we step back and look at these character arcs, the transformation is just incredible. Aloo started out poor, soaked in the rain, and deeply insulted, right? But by the end, because of a single act of integrity, he is wealthy, respected, and a full-on business partner. Meanwhile, Kaddu started off super arrogant, grumpy, and relying totally on his riches. And by the end, he is completely humbled, eternally grateful, and incredibly generous. One moment of extreme honesty transformed both of their lives from the inside out. So the ultimate takeaway here is the sweet fruit of honesty. This story just so vividly shows us that those who work hard, keep their heads down, and maintain a clean, honest heart, they always receive help in the end. Aloo proved that the fruit of honesty truly is the sweetest reward. Kaddu's arrogance was completely shattered, and Aloo's destiny was forever illuminated. And that brings us to our final thought for today. In a world absolutely full of shortcuts, is your honesty ready for its ultimate test? It's something we all really need to ask ourselves when no one else is watching. Thank you so much for joining me for this incredible story. If it inspired you, be sure to hit subscribe for more fascinating breakdowns like this. Keep learning, keep growing, and I'll see you in the next one.